So Jared Kushner is under a little bit of fire when it comes to his relationship with the Saudi princes. Now, this is Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Now, he had made the news because back in June, he decided to oust his cousin, then Crown Prince Mohammed bin Nayef, and took his place next in line to the throne. So what he did is he basically upended the established line of succession. Look, let me just point out how it's super, super weird how we still have monarchies in the world. Like, I realize the UK is a monarchy, but it's also, the queen is more of a figurehead. In Saudi Arabia, it's a lot different. The monarchy is actually enforced, and they do all sorts of crazy backwards-ass things, like, I don't know, behead people for apostasy and, witchcraft and et cetera, et cetera. So they're a really weird kind of backwards country that is fundamentalist Muslim. Now, that hasn't stopped President Trump and many other presidents, in fact, all other presidents, from having warm ties to this country that has spread Wahhabist Islam all over the Middle East. That includes the people that we're fighting right now, ISIS. Now, a good example of the Trump administration, who was supposed to be really, really tough on ISIS and tough on terrorism and all that, turns out they're not very tough on them because Jared Kushner and Donald Trump have both been to Saudi Arabia. In fact, in late October, Jared Kushner made an unannounced trip to Riyadh, this is the capital of Saudi Arabia, which caught some of our intelligence officials off guard. Now, while he was there, he met with two different princes. He met with another prince, that is Mohammed bin Salman, and swapped stories and planned different strategies. This is according to the Washington Post, David Ignatius. Now, he reported that back in October. Now, what they talked about, we're not exactly sure. But after the meeting, Crown Prince Mohammed told confidants that Kushner had discussed the names of Saudis that happened to have been disloyal to the Crown Prince. Now, this is according to three different sources who have been in contact with members of the Saudi and Emirati royal families since the crackdown. Now, this is being reported in The Intercept. Now, Kushner, through his attorneys or spokesman, denies having actually done so. But, of course, can we really take Jared Kushner at his word? Now, on November 4th, a week after Kushner returned to the U.S., the Crown Prince launched what he called an anti-corruption crackdown. Now, the Saudi government arrested dozens of members of the Saudi royal family and imprisoned them in the Ritz-Carlton, which was first reported by The Intercept. The Saudi figures named in the president's daily brief were among those rounded up. At least one was reportedly tortured. So now, that's funny because they mentioned the president's daily brief. Before Jared Kushner had his security clearance stripped, he was able to read that daily brief. So, if that was our intelligence that he gave to Saudi Arabia, to this specific Saudi prince, bin Salman, well, then that is problematic, because that is leaking U.S. Intelligence to a foreign country. Now, Kushner has other ties to foreign countries. In fact, let me go in here and read some more of this. Now, one of the people, Mohammed bin Salman, told about the discussion with Kushner was UAE Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed, according to the source who talks frequently with confidants of the Saudi and Emirati rulers. MBS bragged, that's Mohammed bin Salman, to the Emirati Crown Prince that Kushner was, quote, in his pocket. So, man, that is one hell of a close relationship. Oh, no. Kushner, you see, Kushner, he's in my pocket. Like, he's sitting in my pocket right now. Like, I control him. I basically own him. Now, why? How would that even be possible? Well, we'll get to that. And, of course, it has to do with Jared Kushner's financial dealings which makes this even more of a example of the massive corruption inside of the Trump White House. Now, if Kushner had discussed the names of the Saudi prince without presidential authorization, because, again, this would be our intelligence, then he could have violated federal laws around the sharing of classified intelligence. Now, the other thing that could have happened is Trump's like, oh, yeah, go ahead and use that. Yeah, go ahead and tell them. Which, look, Donald Trump, again, is a big friend of the Saudis now. In fact, Donald Trump, this may have actually happened. Donald Trump might have actually said, go ahead and share this intelligence with our friends in Saudi Arabia. Now, why do I say that? Well, Trump took to Twitter to defend Mohammed bin Salman's crackdown of corruption. He says, quote, I had great confidence in King Salman and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They know exactly what they are doing. Some of those they are harshly treating have been milking their country for years. Interesting. Very interesting. But again, even if Trump didn't know, he backed Kushner in the end. And he's had a habit of actually doing that. Now, that, of course, has a lot of people worried, this situation. In fact, senior U.S. government officials, according to The Intercept, have long worried about Kushner's handling of sensitive foreign policy issues, given his lack of diplomatic experience. They have also raised concerns about the possibility that foreign officials might try to influence him through business deals with his family's real estate empire. And right now, Special Counsel Robert Mueller is examining Kushner's business ties as part of his probe of corruption. So, look, these business deals, they could get him in a lot of trouble. Look, and this relationship with the Saudi crown princes is especially troubling. Now, according to an investigation, Kushner has grown so close to the Saudi and Arabian crown princes that he has communicated with them directly using WhatsApp. That's a secure messaging app owned by Facebook and popular in the Middle East. This is according to a senior Western official and a source close to the Saudi royal family. Oh, look, you could say, oh, they're just friends. They just sit there and they have conversations about all this fun stuff and, crackdowns and all that. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Or it could be other things. Now, Kushner's unconventional communications with these regional leaders excluded diplomats during the summer of 2017, when Saudi Arabia and the UAE initiated an economic blockade at weakening their Gulf neighbor, Qatar. Now, what's interesting about that, this goes back to more of Kushner's corruption. Kushner had attempted to secure a half a billion-dollar deal with the finance minister of Qatar in order to save one of his properties. It's 666 something Avenue in New York. This is one of Kushner's buildings. This is one of the Kushner family properties that is underwater. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact address on this one. But it's one of the Kushner properties that is not doing very well, that needs an extra round of financing. So he goes to the leaders of Qatar and he says, hey, man, look, I got this building, I got this investment that I could use some financing on. Why don't you help a brother out? They decided to not go into that deal. And just weeks later, Kushner's like, you know what? Let's block Qatar. Yeah, let's get together, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. I'm going to support your blockade. Again, that seems like retaliation for not actually, for them not joining or doing that business deal with the Kushners. Again, that is super, super shady. Now, what's funny is that while Rex Tillerson was Secretary of State, he actually tried to mediate in this and was quickly undercut by both Donald Trump and Jared Kushner, who supported the blockade. 3 State Department officials told The Intercept that Tillerson was largely in the dark about Kushner's communications with Mohammed bin Salman during that period. In the wake of his crackdown in Saudi Arabia, the National Security Council's Policy Coordination Committee suggested that Tillerson intervene to try to reason with the Crown Prince, according to a former White House official and a former State Department official. Tillerson declined, telling colleagues doing so would be pointless, given that Kushner was already in close and direct contact with him. So he's not the only one that was out of the loop. You also had U.S. Army Colonel Michael Bell. Now, he complained that he was out of the loop in the Gulf crisis and the Arab-Israeli conflict, which again, Kushner was put in charge of. Oh, man. So, again, look, this seems to be an enormous bit of corruption. I mean, look, Chris Murphy, and he had a great quote on this. This is a Democratic senator from Connecticut. He says, quote, "If the reason this administration put U.S. troops at risk in Qatar was to protect the Kushner's financial interests, then that's all the evidence you need to make some big changes in the White House." Look, man, Kushner's got to go. I think it's fairly clear that he is trying to use this position in order to enrich himself. He has absolutely no experience in diplomacy, mediation. Obviously, foreign leaders say that, oh man, look at that Kushner. We can take advantage of this guy because he's naive. Not only is he naive, but he's also incredibly corrupt. We can take advantage of him. You have one of the Saudi crown princes that's saying, Kushner, this guy's in our pocket. He'll do anything we want him to. He'll even help us and support us blockading one of our regional opponents in the area. Come on, man. It's obvious. You got to get him out of there. He does not belong in this office. He does not belong in the White House. He does not belong near any lever of power. You got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. Now, look, maybe Mueller will find something on him. Again, he's looking into his business dealings. He's looking into his properties. So maybe that's the only way that we're going to get him out. But regardless of how he goes, he's got to go. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.